I caught this morning morning's minion, kingdom of daylight's dolphin, dapple-drawn falcon in his riding of the rolling level underneath him, steady air, and striding, high there, how he hung upon the rein of a wimpling wing in his ecstasy, and then off, forth on swing, as a skate's heel sweeps smooth on a bow bend, the hurl and the gliding, rebuffed by the big wind, my heart hiding, stirred for the bird, the achieve of, the mastery of a thing, brute beauty and valor, and act, oh, air, pride, plume, here, buckle, and the fire that breaks from thee then a billion times told lovelier, more dangerous, oh, my chevalier, no wonder of its sheer plod makes plow down Sicilian shine, and blue bleak embers, ah, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gold and gash gold vermilion. Whew, that is an excerpt from Gerard Manley Hopkins' The Wind Hoover. And you can see in that there is so much to do with sound. And really what he uses there is a lot of alliteration and assonance. There's some other things that we're going to talk about later that he uses to achieve his effect. But hopefully you got from the feeling of the poem just that incredible intensity and switch, turn, glide, and quickness and slowness and viciousness of a falcon on the hunt. Because that's what he was going for. So today we're going to talk about alliteration and assonance. So alliteration is the repetition of initial or medial consonants in two or more adjacent words. So here's an example. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor. This is from Winter's Tale, and we can see that both the k sound and the f sound are repeated throughout this. And Shakespeare did this all the time in his works to create certain effects upon the reader or the listener. And we'll talk a little bit about how those effects are created in just a moment, but let's also touch on what assonance is. So assonance is the repetition of similar vowel forms preceding and followed by different consonants. So what this really means is that it's not so much that it's the same vowel as it is that it is the same vowel sound. So we can see here in this line from Romeo and Juliet, is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks. So that sound is repeated. If we had just an I there, just the letter I, and we were to pronounce that out loud, it wouldn't count because it's being pronounced differently than it is in these words that are following. So it's really about the sound and not the actual vowel itself. Same thing with consonants. So we know that C's and K's can sometimes sound alike, and that could also be considered alliteration. So themes to consider: everything. Alliteration and assonance are really powerful tools. Alliteration you'll see a lot in advertising, when people are trying to come up with a catchy phrase for something. We do it all the time at Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival. And it's really just a nice way to catch people's attention. But you could really consider the emotion of the sound that you're going to choose. So, for example, oh, ah, they all have a soft, comforting sound, or they can have a deeply felt sound. There's a beautiful moment in Richard III where Richard is arguing with Queen Elizabeth, and he's killed her two sons. And they have this dialogue back and forth. It's actually called astismus, and we'll talk about it sometime. And it's fast and it's quick and it's biting, and they're trading words, and the sounds are all, crisp and varied. And then he has this line to her where he says, your reasons are too quick, essentially. And she replies back to him, he says, too quick and shallow. And she says, oh no, my reasons are too deep and dead, too deep and dead, poor infants in their graves. And I was rehearsing that scene once with someone, and we had been going through it, and this time we've had it fully memorized. We were flying through it, and I got to that line, and you have to stop. You can't fly through it. Oh, no. You can't say it quickly. And I just instantly started crying. It was one of those beautiful moments of Shakespeare directing from the grave. So other sounds like t, d, p, eh, yeah. Those are fast, daring, scary, quick sounds. Trust your gut on this. There's no like lexicon of what sounds make us feel which way. What sounds make you feel? Slow, settled, patient, fast, quick, impatient, frightened. It's in your body that you will feel this reaction to a sound. So go ahead and give it a try. I'm going to put up a quick lesson on assonance and alliteration and how to compose quickly using these devices later this week.